Okay, it looks like we do have a quorum, so we'll call the meeting to order. Thank you, Willen. Okay, and thank you for everybody that's online for participating today. So I don't think we have any special introductions today, so we'll move on to get a motion to approve the agenda. Hoping everybody looked at it.
Willing Clark, El Paso County. Motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Chuck Theobald, City of Colorado Springs, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the agenda? Seeing and hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, we do have an agenda. And okay, do we have any anybody that has any other comments real quick before we move on to approval of the minutes? Okay, I don't see anybody. So minutes from last month, and I wasn't here, so hopefully we have somebody that can testify to what they saw and accept them. We have a motion to approve the minutes, or do we need any changes?
Kathy Heisey Callahan, I move approval of minutes for the last meeting.
Willing Clark, El Paso County. Second.
A motion and a second. Any comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 So we do have the minutes. Tom, do you have anybody on the line that has public comment or anything? Okay, anyone in the audience? And John, you're welcome to comment. Okay. Okay, well then, who is covering for Josh today?
I will be covering for Josh today. He is up at a transit event, or I'm sorry,
Okay.
a freight event up in Denver today. So I'll be taking his place.
Okay.
So today we have a tip amendment, 2 requests for you. The first is a scope change for MMT. MMT had a project, the scope was specifically to purchase up to 9 hybrid transit vehicles. They have requested a change to basically eliminate the number of vehicles and also the type of vehicles in that particular project. That does not mean that they're not still purchasing up to 9 vehicles. It also doesn't mean that they're not necessarily buying hybrid vehicles. It just means that they can use that project with a variety of funding types and then purchase vehicles that are eligible for various funding types. So for instance, if they use their FTA 5307 funding, they could use that for hybrid vehicles. They could use that for diesel vehicles. They could use that for, various sized vehicles. There is some carbon reduction program funding in that project. So they were potentially still going to use that for hybrids specifically. But basically it just gives them more flexibility to get that money spent. The second request here is a CDOT request. So there was some funding in basically kind of a holding project. It was a US 24 corridor mobility and safety improvements project. And what they've requested to do is to move that funding specifically to the Judge Orr intersection improvements project, which is of course on that corridor. We do have John Hall from CDOT online if anybody has any specific questions for that. Otherwise, what we're looking for today is a recommendation to the board to adopt this particular amendment.
And is that specifically the roundabout improvements to help?
It is the yes, Judge
Okay.
Orr
Okay,
and
good.
Bluegill. That's a combined project between CDOT and El Paso County out there.
Okay, great. Any questions for Danelle or Don on that? And we've covered this all before, but if anything else pops up in your mind.
We do have one hand raised online, Steve Schleicher.
Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering, has there been any discussion in regards to this project impacting Meadow Lake?
John, can you answer that? I think when you had the presentation that was covered, but I don't want to answer for you.
Yeah, I just can't remember, and I apologize, guys.
the project has had extensive coordination with Meadow Lake, with FAA, with the state. You know, CDOT has the whole aviation branch, right? Aeronautics branch. So there's been a whole lot of coordination on those topics. That's a lot of the reason why the current bluegill alignment and connection point. Probably we went into it feeling that it should kind of connect into Judge Orr, but that was deemed very, you know, deemed not what the airport in particular wanted to see. So we made I believe I can say very, very, we made definitely accommodations and tried to work through as much of that as possible, or through everything. I don't think there's really any outstanding concerns that I'm aware of.
Okay, thanks, John.
Yeah, I will say, Steve, that when John had the open house out in Falcon and I attended that, the explanations were outstanding. The roundabout Bluegill, all of it just looked great. And I think long-term, it's going to be much safer to drive through that area. So
Yeah,
my 2 cents for what it's worth.
I completely agree, Mr. Chair. In fact, because going out there, that is a huge congested area right there.
And before we move on, Steve, if you don't mind, after the meeting here, if you could give us a call, I'd appreciate it. Call Danelle or I'll call you.
Yep, absolutely, guys.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, take a motion to pass this on to the board.
Welling Clark, El Paso County, motion to approve as submitted.
Second,
Steve Schleicher, El Paso County, second.
we have a motion and a second on the table. Any further comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you, Danelle.
Thank you.
Lisa, you're up.
Hi, everyone. I'm looking for a approval on a volunteer to serve on the FTA and review selection panel. This is funding that we received from the Federal Transit Administration to enhance mobility for older adults and individuals with disabilities, where paratransit or fixed transit does not suffice. So this funding will be given to human services providers, where they can have extended hours of service. They provide door-through-door service, and just kind of improve the mobility for older adults and individuals with disabilities. So I'm asking for a volunteer to serve on the committee where you will review and score the applicants. And then we will have one meeting to just discuss it. And then we'll go through the process like last year of getting approvals throughout the TAC and the CAC and then the board. So this is the first step of the panel. We'll review and score. I will provide all the scoring criteria, all the applications and everything that you would need. It will take a couple hours to go through I'm kind of just lay it all out. So it'll take probably a couple hours for you to go through the applicants. We got 3 last year, so I'm kind of expecting 2 to 3 applicants, and then it'll be one hybrid meeting, so in person or online. Again, probably around 2 hours, just to go through the whole panel and just go through that process of reviewing it. So I'm just asking for one volunteer. I have received 4 other volunteers from different committees, so it will be really great if I can get one more volunteer. Thank you.
Hey, Kevin Clark, El Paso County. Just one question. How many hours a week were you expecting for this person?
It'll not be any hours per week. It'll just be one block of 2 hours approximately of reviewing the applicants, and then another 2 block hour just for all the panelists to come together.
Welling Clark, El Paso County, I'd like to add on to that. I was involved last year on that. Approximately 4 to 5 hours is a very strong estimate for time, which is excellent. And it was about 1.5 hours actually in a meeting just to go through things, and everybody was on sync. So I strongly recommend someone who hasn't done it to go ahead and try to do it. And Mr. Chair, in that aspect, given my current work status of what has happened when I've come back, I do not have bandwidth to support this, to be involved in this. But the information that everybody has received is on target. Out.
Hey.
last meeting, Steve, you were also nominated, so I don't know if you're still interested, that would be great.
I knew you were going to bring that up. I was waiting for Welling to do that. You know, absolutely, guys. I know I sit on the Commission of Aging as well. And I think that would be, you know, an amazing piece when we're sitting here looking at that aspect from the CAC to the COA. So Welling, I'll tell you what, if whatever you want to do, buddy, you've got, you know, some institutional knowledge, but if you are not willing to do it, I'll step up and, you know, be able to help out the CAC and the COA.
Okay, Welling Clark, El Paso County. It's not that I don't want to, it's just that I've got other workloads that have come on board that were unexpected.
Yep.
From that standpoint, so I can't do it. It is very straightforward. Everybody is a real good team player and working on it, and it actually broadens one's horizons a little bit too. Oh,
Yep.
That is perfect. Thank you, Steve. Then my last question is that you do not serve on any other boards or committees for human service providers. So Envita and Silver Key were previous recipients. So just checking that you are not heavily involved in those organizations.
I am not.
Right, perfect. That is good for me.
Before we go any further, I just want to make sure, Kevin, were you asking about it also?
Yes, sir. Just clarifying question.
Okay. So it sounds like Steve is very interested in it. Anyone else? Make it formal for you, Lisa. I'll ask for a vote. All in favor of Steve, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much. I'll be in contact with you for next steps.
Thank you.
Now it's you again, Danelle.
It is. I get to talk to you for a while today. But hopefully these will go fairly easily because they're all things you've seen before. So first we have the Unified Planning Work Program adoption. This is a federally required document that just documents what we here at PPACG are going to spend our federal funding on in terms of transportation planning. We put this out for a public comment period and did not receive any comments, which is honestly fairly standard for this kind of amendment. However, we did want to talk about it a little bit with you today because we did make a few changes to that UPWP. When we brought it to you previously, we had noted that we may make some adjustments to the funding, which is exactly what we have done here. First, we were able to receive an additional $180,000 from the state. CDOT provided that as part of their state planning and research funds. That is backed by toll credits. So basically we don't have to put any local match into that funding. That will allow us to complete our specialized transportation plan. That's our human services plan that Lisa will be heading up here, which will then feed into our long range transportation plan. That will also give us some funding to conduct a survey and a kickoff for that long range transportation plan project. So in the document, we've added that money to our table here on in figure 6. We've also just changed some language in the document itself where we had the specialized plan was contingent based on a receiving funding. We just took that language out. We also just updated a few of the places where we're spending money just based on updated. When we put it together, we created a forecast of this is how much money we're going to spend. This is how much money we're going to roll over into next year. Basically, we've just had a little bit more time pass, so we've updated those numbers to be a little bit more accurate. But none of our actual work tasks have changed, and everything. All of the content of our actual work elements is the same as it was before. So I'm happy to take any questions. But otherwise, we're just looking for a recommendation to the board to adopt our UPWP amendment.
Questions in the room? Anyone online? And from what I could see, it's just streamlined and cleaned up what you presented before, so. Okay, at this time, we'll entertain a motion to move this to the board.
Chuck Theobald, City of Colorado Springs, moves that we approve
make that
the
motion.
document as submitted to go to the full Board of Directors.
Have a second.
I'll second.
Teresa Chico, Paso County, I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Danelle, and have you again.
Yes, very similar kind of document here, except, well, not a similar document, but a similar process, except that we actually have not made any changes since you last saw this document. Our public participation plan went out for a 45-day public comment period, which is required by federal law. Again, we did not receive any comments on that, which is not unusual. This is a document that kind of gives us as staff some guidance on some tools and some ways that we can create public engagement for our actual planning documents. So it's more of a internal guidance kind of document, but we are required to put it out for public comment. So again, no comments made, no changes made, and today we're just looking for a recommendation to forward that onto the board.
And again, it's one we've seen, so. Anyone want to make a motion to send this to the board?
Kathy Heisey Callahan, I move a positive recommendation for the public participation plan.
A second.
I'll second.
Teresa Chico, Paso County, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unopposed. So. Information items, we still have you to know.
We do have one information item, and this is mostly just for everyone's awareness and for my own brain, so I didn't forget. But you'll receive a poll probably next week to try to make sure that we're getting quorum in the October, November, and December months. We have a potential scheduling conflict in October with our ozone conference. We also have November's meeting falls, I think, the day before Thanksgiving. And I believe the December meeting is on the 30th of December. So we just want to send out a poll to see if we're going to get quorum on those days, if we need to reschedule some of those meetings, and just trying to get ahead of that. So if you don't see a poll in the next week, just let me know so that I can make sure that we're getting all of the information out to you properly.
So the October date, if there's a conflict, are you going to make a recommendation or?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple of different options. We can either do, and it's really just that our wonderful Tommy and Jared won't be able to support that meeting. So we'll either have a smaller meeting or a virtual only meeting, or we'll move it to a different date or time so that we
Okay.
can just accommodate that.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any other announcements or?
Under member entity announcements, I can say I just got an email this afternoon that Colorado Springs has chosen a CAC member. So hopefully we will have one more CAC member next month.
Good, that'll put them at 3. Right, okay, great. Anyone else have any comments, announcements? Air shows next month, Lola. Thought I'd remind you. The air show next month.
I'm thinking of the 2028 Blue Angel show.
Not
Next,
that far out.
yeah, no, look, just to let everybody know, everything's been signed. So we're still in the running to get the Blue Angels in 2028 and 2026. The third weekend, the Saturday and the Sunday, the air show is on, the regional air show. So it's going to be a driving mess if you're over in the southeast area of the city of Colorado Springs. But Saturday's pretty well filled up. That's military. Sunday still has openings if you would like to attend and see. We'll be flying a lot of warbirds. And we're still working right now, the U.S. Naval Academy state chapter, as well as the Parents Association from Colorado and Wyoming states to see if we can get some warbirds flying. They can get them flying after the regional air show for the Air Force Navy game on the first weekend of October. So we're working on that too. So still going forward.
Yeah, the Springs Rescue Mission's having their summer block party. This is the third annual summer block party. And the goal of the event is just to connect the community with what happened to the rescue mission. We like to see first responders, community folks there, just get a support as people work on putting pieces of their life back together.
And anyone else have an announcement on it? Anyone on the line? Hey, we're moving right along, and you just kind of covered meeting schedule, so we're good there. So, well, at this point, I want to thank everybody for your participation, and Steve
Oh.
Fleiker will reach out to you in a little bit.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I just wanted to compliment PPACG. This meeting, that the information they sent out was very smooth. There were no questions and everything else. And I want to give them a shout out for that. I think was well done. And from the last few years, I'm seeing improvements in the quality, the accuracy, and the completeness of information that this group is seeing. So
Absolutely.
thank you very much for all of you that worked with PPACG and putting up with us citizens.
Thank you all for being here.
Okay, if there's nothing else, we are adjourned.
Thank you all.
But it's all put together as concise and as well as this one was.